Karma, the echo of our intentions. Karma unveiled, beyond good and bad. Welcome to Vedira, where timeless wisdom meets the rhythm of your awakening. In this journey we do not seek answers from the surface. We dive inward, beyond noise, beyond belief, to where truth hums quietly, waiting to be remembered. Today we begin an exploration not of punishment or reward, but of the invisible echoes that shape your life. Karma, not just what you do but why you do it. Let's begin. The misunderstood law of karma. If you ask most people what karma means, the answers come quickly and with confidence. What goes around comes around. Do good and good things will happen. He had it coming, that's karma. But is that truly what karma is? A spiritual scoreboard? A divine mechanism that balances the scales of justice? Not quite. And not even close. This simplistic view of karma, as cosmic punishment and reward, flattens a profoundly intricate and intelligent system into mere superstition. In reality, karma is not a celestial vending machine that dispenses fortune or misfortune based on your recent behavior. It is something far deeper, far more elegant, and infinitely more personal. Karma is intention in motion. It's not about what you do alone but what moved you to do it. Karma is born not at the moment of your action, but in the silence before it, in the intention behind the thought. The universe is not keeping score. It is mirroring you. Karma is not a punishment system. One of the oldest misunderstandings about karma is that it acts as a sort of divine justice system, rewarding the virtuous and punishing the wicked. But this assumes that karma is moralistic, that it judges, ranks, and reacts. But karma doesn't judge you. It reflects you. It is not watching with disapproval when you err, nor applauding when you succeed. Karma is not interested in blame or praise. It is interested in truth. And truth is vibrational, not moral. It responds to what you are, not just what you do. This is why good things sometimes happen to so-called bad people, and bad things to the seemingly good. Karma does not discriminate based on social norms. It moves according to a subtler logic, the physics of consciousness. Karma as the law of resonance. The word karma comes from the Sanskrit root kri, meaning to act or to do. But this root also implies movement, the flow of cause and effect through space and time. Karma, therefore, is not a static result but a dynamic process. It is the echo of your movement through the field of existence. Imagine standing in a vast canyon and shouting a word. That word bounces off the walls and returns as an echo. Karma functions much the same way, not as a judgment but as a response. The universe replies in the same frequency you emit. But here's the key. What you shout is not just your action. It is your intention. A kind deed done with resentment returns differently than the same deed done with love. A lie told to protect may ripple differently than a lie told to manipulate. The universe responds to the energy behind your action, not merely the action itself. Unconscious karma, the hidden echo. Most of our karma doesn't come from our deliberate choices, it comes from the unconscious ones. These are the thoughts we don't observe, the emotions we suppress, the beliefs we inherit but never question. These buried intentions still echo outward, quietly shaping our reality. This is why karma feels mysterious, even unfair. We wonder, why does this keep happening to me? But we rarely ask, what intention within me keeps calling it in? Unconscious karma is like a software running in the background, old code from childhood wounds, ancestral patterns, collective conditioning. And it creates loops. The karmic loop, living the same story on repeat. Have you ever noticed the same kind of relationship drama repeating? The same financial hardship? The same self-sabotage? That's not random. That's a karmic loop. Karma repeats not to punish you but to awaken you. The pattern continues until the hidden intention behind it is brought to light and transformed. Let's say someone constantly experiences betrayal in relationships. They may think, I just have bad luck. But karma is not about luck. It's a mirror. Perhaps deep within they carry an unconscious belief, I'm not safe in love. That belief becomes an intention, an energetic filter, and the universe echoes it back, again and again, until they become conscious of the pattern, until they shift the inner script. Then, and only then, the echo changes. From action to origin, reclaiming the root. One of the most liberating insights about karma is this. You are not at the mercy of your past, but you are responsible for your present intention. When you realize that your karma is not fixed but fluid, not a sentence but a seed, everything changes. You begin to live more consciously. You start looking not just at what you're doing but why. You ask, what is the feeling behind this action? Am I acting from love, fear, guilt, or authenticity? Am I repeating a script or creating something new? These questions are sacred. They break cycles. They initiate you into conscious karma. Karma as evolution, not repetition. Karma is not linear, it's layered. Another misconception is that karma is instant or directly traceable, like doing a good deed today brings a reward tomorrow. Sometimes that's true. Often it's not. Karma does not operate on your schedule. It operates on the law of alignment. Some seeds take years to blossom. Some karmas are inherited across generations. Others accumulate like layers, a mix of conflicting intentions creating mixed results. This is why your life may feel full of contradictions. Joy in one area, struggle in another. Each domain reflects a different karmic frequency, shaped by different intentions. Life is not a single mirror. It's a hall of mirrors, each reflecting a different part of you. Karma versus fate. What's the difference? Many people confuse karma with fate, as if your past deeds lock you into a predetermined future. But this view strips away your creative power. Fate is passive. Karma is responsive. You are not a victim of karma. You are its author. Your future is not written in stone. It is being written now in every choice, every thought, every whisper of intention. Karma doesn't enslave you. It invites you to wake up to your creative power. And that's the hidden beauty. The more conscious you become, the more karmic momentum you reclaim. Real-world echoes. When intention changes everything. Consider two people giving to charity. One does so with genuine compassion. Another gives out of guilt or for public approval. The action is identical. The karma is not. The first may experience an expansion of empathy, a sense of inner abundance, or opportunities flowing in sync with their giving. The second may feel empty, restless, or even attract situations that mirror their inner guilt. Why? Because karma doesn't track the deed. It follows the vibration. This is why spiritual traditions across the world emphasize purity of heart, not as moral virtue but as vibrational alignment. What you do is secondary. Who you are while doing it, that's the real echo. Awakening to karma. To walk the path of awakening is not to escape karma, it is to dance with it consciously. It is to recognize that you are not a passive recipient of destiny, but a living transmitter of frequency. Every moment becomes a choice point. Will I act from love or fear? From awareness or reaction? From wholeness or wounding? The moment you pause before reacting. The moment you choose compassion over defense. The moment you notice your motive before you speak. You are not just avoiding bad karma. You are shifting the entire pattern of your life. Conclusion. Karma is not a tally. It is a tapestry, woven from your intentions, your consciousness, and your courage to evolve. You are not being punished by life. You are being shown yourself, lovingly, patiently, and truthfully. And as you awaken to the origin of your actions, you begin to reclaim the pen. This is the beginning of freedom. Not the end of karma, but the start of karma as creation. The intention blueprint, how inner worlds shape outer realities. The seed behind the action. Every action begins as a seed, not of movement but of thought. Before a word is spoken, before a deed is done, something precedes it, a vibration, a motive, a spark. That is intention. To the naked eye, two people may do the same thing. But in the unseen world, the energies behind their actions may be miles apart. Intention is the blueprint. Action is the building. And karma? Karma is the echo of that blueprint, reverberating through the field of life. If your intention is rooted in fear, even your most generous act can carry the scent of self-preservation. If your intention is rooted in love, even your smallest deed can ripple across the cosmos. Conscious versus unconscious intention. The vast majority of human intention is unconscious. We live on autopilot, reacting, pleasing, defending, proving, unaware of the emotional undercurrents shaping our choices. We may act kindly but from a place of needing approval. We may push ourselves not from inspiration but to escape feelings of inadequacy. We may give but secretly expect something in return. Unconscious intention is karma's silent architect. It builds the patterns we don't understand, the loops we can't escape. To change karma, you must first become aware of what you're actually intending, not what you tell yourself but what you feel just beneath the surface. This takes radical honesty and compassion. Mixed intentions, why results can be confusing. Have you ever done something you believed was right, only to have it backfire? Perhaps you helped someone but ended up resented. Maybe you took a leap of faith only to feel unsupported. Or you offered love but were met with silence. This often happens when intentions are mixed. Let's say you start a new business. On the surface, your intention is clear, to offer value. But beneath that there may be fear, of failure, of judgment, of not being good enough. These unacknowledged layers dilute your energy. The action you take may carry conflicting frequencies, and life reflects that back. Mixed intentions equals mixed results. This is why clarity of inner motive is essential. Not just what you want, but why you want it. The subtle power of pure intention. A pure intention is one that is undivided, rooted in truth, not in compensation. It doesn't mean you're flawless. It means you're clear. Your heart, mind, and spirit are in alignment. You are not acting out of lack, but out of presence. When intention is pure, even small actions carry great power. Think of the mother who stays awake to care for her sick child. The monk who blesses a bowl of rice with loving awareness. The artist who creates not for applause, but to express the ineffable. In these cases the echo is strong. Life responds not just with outer blessings but with inner peace. Because karma does not only unfold in the material world. It also flowers in your consciousness, in how whole, grounded, and free you feel in your being. Thought, word, and deed, the trilogy of karma. In many Eastern philosophies, karma is said to be created through three primary portals: thought, word, action. This trinity forms the structure of intention. A thought gives rise to an energetic impulse. A word crystallizes that energy into vibration. An action brings it into physical form. Let's trace a karmic imprint through this path. You think, I'm not enough. You speak, I'll never succeed. You act, you avoid risks, settle, or self-sabotage. Each level reinforces the next. This becomes your karmic loop, not because of some curse but because your intention blueprint keeps repeating itself. The good news? You can reprogram it. But you must start at the root. Reprogramming the blueprint. Intention healing. How do you shift an old karmic pattern? Not by forcing action. Not by positive thinking alone. But by gently becoming aware of your real intention and choosing again. Here's a simple but profound practice. Seedling intention audit. Daily ritual. Pause before an important action. Ask, what am I truly hoping to get from this? Is it love? Validation? Safety? Control? Then ask, what if I gave myself that first? This question is alchemical. When you become the source of the feeling you're chasing, the intention purifies. You act not from lack but from inner fullness. This is how karma evolves, not through perfection but through awareness. Why similar actions yield different results. Two people donate money. One receives immense joy and abundance in return. The other feels drained and unacknowledged. Two people speak their truth. One feels liberated and respected. The other sparks conflict and regret. Why? Because intention determines the quality of the vibration. Imagine you're speaking a truth, but secretly hoping to hurt someone. That hidden desire becomes part of the karmic echo. You may say the right thing but it lands poorly. On the other hand, someone else may express a difficult truth with love and clarity, and the energy carries healing even if it's uncomfortable. The universe isn't rewarding words. It's echoing energies. Energetic signatures, what you're really transmitting. Every human being is a transmitter. You're constantly sending out energetic signals, even in silence. Your beliefs, desires, wounds, and hopes all form a unique energetic signature. That signature shapes your reality more than your goals or plans. You may say you want love, but if your core intention is to avoid abandonment, you'll attract situations that reflect fear, not connection. You may want success, but if your inner drive is fueled by proving your worth, you may find yourself in constant hustle, never satisfied. It's not what you say you want. It's what your energy is asking for. To change karma, you must change the signal, the underlying intention behind your being. The power of silent intention. Not all karma is created through loud, visible actions. Some of the most powerful karmic shifts occur in silence. When you shift an inner narrative. When you forgive someone in your heart. When you decide quietly to stop abandoning yourself. That changes everything. Silent intention is potent because it's unfiltered. It's not dressed up for appearance. It's raw, honest, and direct. And the universe responds to that authenticity. In spiritual practice, this is why meditation and prayer are powerful. Not because they earn favor with the divine, but because they refine intention. They peel away noise until your true voice, your sankalpa or soul's vow, becomes clear. Sankalpa, the sacred intention. In yogic philosophy, there is a concept known as sankalpa, a deeply rooted, soul-aligned intention. It is not a casual desire. It is a vow, a soul memory that seeks to express itself in this lifetime. Unlike superficial intentions which often come from the ego, a sankalpa emerges from the self, the timeless essence within you. Examples of sankalpas. I am here to bring truth into form. I choose to return to love in all I do. I dedicate this life to healing within and without. When you align your actions with your sankalpa, karma becomes a vehicle for evolution. Life becomes graceful, not always easy but aligned. Obstacles teach, relationships refine, and every moment becomes a step toward the self. When you start living intentionally, when you begin living from intention, not reaction, several shifts occur. Clarity emerges. You know why you're doing what you're doing. Peace deepens. You stop needing validation because your actions arise from alignment. Power returns. You realize that your outer reality is a reflection, not a mystery. This doesn't mean everything goes perfectly, but it does mean you understand what your experiences are showing you. Every joy becomes an affirmation. Every challenge becomes a refinement. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this showing me about myself? Your intentions are not invisible. They are the architects of your life, shaping the people you meet, the patterns you repeat, and the purpose you remember. In this part of the journey, we've peeled back the outer layers and looked at the blueprint beneath it all. Intention. And now, with this awareness, you are ready to meet your karmic loops, not with fear but with curiosity. Because the past does not repeat. It only echoes, until you respond with a new vibration. The echo that repeats. Some events in life feel oddly familiar. You meet a different person but the same pain returns. You move cities yet the same anxiety follows. You switch careers and somehow find yourself in the same old frustration. This is not coincidence. This is karma in motion, or more precisely, in repetition. We call these karmic loops. They are recurring experiences generated by unresolved patterns of intention, playing out until you become conscious enough to choose differently. Karmic loops are not traps. They are invitations. They show up not to haunt you but to wake you. What is a karmic loop? A karmic loop is a vibrational pattern fueled by a consistent inner script, often subconscious, that recreates similar outcomes in different scenarios. Here's how it usually works. Wound forms a belief, influences intention, shapes action, brings result, reinforces belief. Let's take an example. A child feels neglected, forms belief, I must earn love. As an adult, they overextend in relationships, feel taken for granted, reinforce belief, I'm never loved back. Loop continues, not because of fate, but because of an unquestioned intention. I must prove my worth to receive love. Different partners, same emotional result. Different settings, same pattern. Until the blueprint is seen and rewritten. Recognizing the loop, common signs. How do you know you're in a karmic loop? Déjà vu feelings in emotional experiences. Patterns in relationships, betrayal, abandonment, power struggles. Repetitive failures despite effort or change of environment. Emotional triggers that feel out of proportion to the event. Unshakable beliefs that life is just like this. But the biggest clue is this. You feel stuck, even though you're trying to move forward. That stuckness is not a sign of failure. It's a doorway. It's life asking, are you ready to look deeper? The loop is not punishment, it's a mirror. It's important to understand. A karmic loop is not punishment for what you did. It is a mirror reflecting what you still believe. That belief may not be conscious. It may be ancient, even ancestral. But it carries a frequency. And the universe, like a tuning fork, responds in resonance. Think of karma not as, this happened because I was bad. But as, this happened because I believed something, and life reflected it. This subtle shift transforms victimhood into power. The role of emotional memory. Many karmic patterns are encoded not in the intellect, but in emotion. The body remembers what the mind forgets. This is why you may react intensely to something small. A tone of voice, a certain look, a moment of silence. Your nervous system is responding not to the present, but to an unresolved emotional echo from the past. Unfelt emotions are unintegrated karma. They seek expression. They return as loops, as triggers, as overreactions, until they are felt, witnessed, and released. This is why healing emotional memory is central to breaking karmic cycles. The karmic loop in relationships. Nowhere are karmic loops more visible than in relationships. Because relationships are mirrors, powerful ones. You attract partners, friends, even co-workers who reflect your inner beliefs, wounds, and longings. These relationships aren't random. They are karmic classrooms. The one who abandons you reflects your fear of being alone. The one who controls you mirrors your disowned authority. The one who doesn't see you echoes your own self-doubt. But here's the beauty. The loop continues until it teaches you something. Once you learn the lesson, the pattern dissolves, or the relationship transforms. Because the vibration changes. Breaking the loop, awareness is the first key. You cannot change what you don't see. That's why awareness is always the first step. Here's a practice for becoming conscious of your karmic loops. Cyclone Karmic Pattern Journal. Identify any recurring issue in your life. Ask, what emotion always arises in these situations? Trace it, when else in my life have I felt this same emotion? Look for the core belief beneath it, I'm unlovable, I must control to feel safe, etc. Write a new intention to break the cycle. Example, I choose to receive love without proving myself. Write this not once but daily, until the belief shifts at the root. This process is not just mental. It's energetic. Repetition plus intention equals karmic reprogramming. Forgiveness, the loop breaker. One of the most powerful tools for karmic release is forgiveness. But not the surface kind, not, I forgive because I should. Real forgiveness means releasing the energetic charge of a story. Why does this matter? Because unforgiven pain keeps you tethered to the past. It creates emotional gravity, pulling you back into the same loop. You're not just replaying what they did. You're reliving how you felt about it, over and over. Forgiveness doesn't mean what happened was okay. It means, I no longer choose to carry the frequency of that moment. And in that release, karma dissolves. How ancestral karma plays into loops. Not all karma is yours alone. Some loops are inherited, not by law but by energy. You carry the emotional DNA of your ancestors, their fears, their patterns, their unfinished stories. If a lineage lived in scarcity, fear of authority, or cycles of betrayal, those impressions often show up in your life too. Breaking these loops requires even deeper awareness. It requires honoring what was carried and choosing what no longer needs to be. A simple practice. Deciduous tree ancestral clearing ritual. Sit quietly. Call forth the presence of your ancestors. Speak aloud. I honor the pain you endured. I honor the survival you chose. But I am here now, and I choose freedom. Visualize the loop dissolving, like an old thread unspooling into light. Repeat this regularly. The shift can be felt across timelines. Choosing new lessons. When you break a karmic loop, you don't just escape something. You graduate into something. You no longer need certain lessons, because you've integrated the message. You become free to explore new aspects of your consciousness. Instead of repeating betrayal, you learn trust. Instead of fearing abandonment, you cultivate deep presence. Instead of pleasing others for love, you offer love freely, and receive it naturally. Karma evolves. You evolve. The soul's curriculum is infinite, but you get to choose the next course. Grace and the karmic shortcut. There is a secret force that moves through all karma. It's called grace. Grace is not earned. It's received, when you become willing to see clearly. Sometimes, when a person sincerely opens their heart, karma dissolves swiftly. A loop that would have taken years to unravel can fall away in a moment of piercing self-awareness, humility, or surrender. This is why deep spiritual practices, devotion, meditation, inner inquiry, accelerate karmic healing. They open you to grace. And grace is the space in which karma loses its grip. You're not your karma. One final truth. You are not your karma. You are not your patterns. Not your wounds. Not your echoes. You are the witness, the one who sees, learns, and chooses. Karma is part of the play. But you are the actor and the playwright. This understanding is the great liberator. You don't have to be perfect to exit a karmic loop. You just have to be conscious, and choose again. Loops and lessons. Navigating your karmic patterns. Conclusion. Karmic loops are not life's punishment. They are life's way of revealing what's still alive within you, what needs to be seen, loved, and transformed. They repeat not because you are broken but because you are ready. In this chapter, you've seen that awareness, forgiveness, and grace are your allies. You've learned to map your patterns, and to soften their edges with self-compassion. Now, you are prepared for the final part of this journey, not just observing karma, but creating with it. Karma as creation, becoming the architect of your destiny. The great turning point. There comes a moment in every soul's journey where the question shifts. No longer is it, why is this happening to me? It becomes, what am I now creating? This is the threshold between unconscious karma and conscious creation. You are no longer a passive receiver of echoes. You become the one who speaks into the canyon, clearly, intentionally, wisely, and chooses the quality of the return. This is not about controlling life. It's about aligning with it. Becoming aware of your vibrational signature, your emotional weather, your inner motives. and shaping your choices as an artist shapes clay. This is karma as agency. And in this light, karma becomes a spiritual technology for transformation, designing reality through intention. Everything you do begins as a vibration, and intention is the tuning fork. When your thoughts, words, and actions align with your deeper truth, your karma shifts from reactivity to coherence. You become a living force of order in a chaotic world. Designing your life through intention does not require perfection. It requires presence. It asks you to slow down just enough to ask, what energy am I bringing into this moment? What would love do here? What would clarity look like now? Each moment becomes a brushstroke. Each decision, a karmic color on the canvas of your becoming. The karma of small things. It's tempting to think that karma only accumulates through big life-changing decisions. A marriage, a betrayal, a career move. But the deepest karma is often created through the smallest things. The way you speak to the barista. The tone you use when saying goodbye. The stories you repeat in your mind when no one's listening. Each of these carries a frequency. And over time they build momentum, either toward harmony or more distortion. Your smallest choices are karmic seeds. And the harvest they bring can be surprising. This is not to create fear. It's to inspire reverence. Your life is not insignificant. It is an instrument, constantly playing its tune into the fabric of the universe. Living with karmic awareness. When you begin to live with karmic awareness, a few things naturally happen. You slow down. You stop reacting. You begin responding. You pause before speaking, because you know words are spells. You listen to your body, because it tells you when your energy is off. You align choices with values, because you'd rather have peace than approval. You realize, it's not about controlling outcomes. It's about cleaning the frequency from which outcomes arise. You no longer chase. You tune. And life begins to reflect a new vibration, often subtly, then suddenly. Healing karma with forgiveness and compassion. To become a conscious creator of karma, you must carry lightness, not guilt. That's why forgiveness, especially of self, is essential. You cannot build new karma while dragging the corpse of your past mistakes. You must understand, what you did in the past was based on the awareness you had then. And awareness evolves. As you see more, you do better. So forgive the self that acted unconsciously. Thank the self that endured the loops. And bless the self that's awakening now. Compassion dissolves karmic heaviness. It clears the emotional residue that distorts intention. A clean heart creates clean karma. Transcending reaction, the space of power. One of the most profound karmic skills is non-reaction. When you no longer compulsively react to life, you interrupt the chain of karmic repetition. You create space, and in that space new choices become possible. This is the seed of all spiritual power. The moment you pause, breathe, and respond from intention rather than habit, you exit the loop. You enter creation. You're no longer echoing the past. You're speaking the future. Creating karma through devotion. In many spiritual traditions, karma is not seen as a burden, but as a blessing. Why? Because karma gives you agency. The more conscious you are, the more refined your karma becomes. And when you bring devotion into your actions, when you act from the heart, not from the ego, karma transforms from obligation to offering. This is called karma yoga in the Bhagavad Gita, the path of selfless action. Acting without attachment to results. Doing what is right because it is aligned, not because it will pay off. This is the highest karma. Because it is not transactional, it is sacred. Karma and dharma, the twin flames. To live intentionally is one thing. To live in alignment with your dharma, your soul's unique path, is another. Karma is the echo. Dharma is the calling. When you align your intentions not just with personal desires, but with your soul's deeper purpose, karma becomes the wind at your back. This doesn't mean life becomes easy, but it becomes clear. You know why you're here. And you begin creating karma that ripples not just through your life, but through others. You leave echoes that heal. Karma in the collective. Your karma doesn't exist in isolation. Just as individuals carry karma, so do families, cultures, and entire civilizations. We are now, more than ever, living inside the karmic consequences of collective beliefs. Systems built on separation. Economies built on fear. Technologies devoid of wisdom. But the same law applies. Awareness changes the echo. When you heal your personal karma, you heal a thread of the collective web. When you act with integrity in a broken system, you seed a new pattern. When you love in a world full of division, you shift the vibration for all. Your awakening is never just yours. It ripples, far, wide, and deep. Your life is a sacred echo. Imagine looking back at your life one day and hearing it as a song. Each choice a note. Each intention a beat. Each loop a chorus, repeating until the lyric was rewritten. What song would you hear? Would it be one of reaction and regret? Or one of clarity and creation? This is not a question for someday. This is a question for now. Because karma is not fate. It is sound. And you are the musician. Karma is a daily practice. The most beautiful thing about karma is this. You don't have to change your entire life overnight. You simply have to change the intention behind one moment. Then another. Then another. One honest word. One brave silence. One act of forgiveness. One refusal to repeat the old. That's all it takes to begin sculpting a new karmic architecture. And over time the echoes change. Your life softens. Your soul steadies. Your purpose clarifies. You are the architect. You are not the victim of karma. You are its creator. You are not here to balance debts, but to build legacies. You are not being punished. You are being shaped. And now that you know the blueprint, now that you've seen the loops, met the echoes, and felt the power of intention, you can choose. You can build. You can design. Not from fear, but from clarity. Not from guilt, but from grace. Not from the past, but from the pulse of your becoming. At Vedira we do not merely explain. We remember. We remember that karma is not a scale, but a mirror. Not a law of judgment, but a field of creation. You are not here to pass tests. You are here to tune frequencies. To speak into the canyon of existence with truth, with love, and with vision. So echo wisely, beloved soul. Echo with intention. Echo with reverence. Echo knowing that the universe is always listening. And always reflecting.